Christopher Luxon, thank you so much for joining Stuff this afternoon for an end-of-year Christmas interview extravaganza.
Great to be with you, Luke. Awesome to be with you.
Now, over your right-hand shoulder, there's a Dominion Post headline that was published the day after you became the National Party leader, and it reads, "Luxon pushes moderation." Now, at that point, you told me that the National Party is about having an urban liberal piece, a rural conservative piece. That's been in the traditions of our party of moderate liberal, moderate conservative, moderate being the opposite word, being the operative word. Is this something you think you've nailed this year?
Yeah, look, I think we've made a lot of progress over the last 12 months. If you think about where we were, this time last year and where we sit today, we're in quite a different place. What I'm most proud about is the fact that we have built the team incredibly well. I think everybody can see that we've got a great parliamentary team that's playing as a team. We've been able to refresh the party, and importantly, we've also been able to attract great staff to actually work with us as well. So, I come 12 months down the road saying, yes, there's actually a lot of progress that we've made. And as I've said, from the beginning, yes, you've got to have the moderate liberal and the moderate conservative traditions in the party, moderate being the operative word. But the other piece is that you need to be a national party, and that's why I said from the get-go I'd work really hard on making sure we're a diverse party and that ultimately we can take our centre-right politics, principles, beliefs and values to all communities across New Zealand.
Now, we're speaking on Tuesday, December 13. This morning, the latest Taxpayer Union Courier poll came in. It showed yet another improvement in the centre-right National Act vote. This is the latest in a number of polls now that are showing the centre-right bloc of parties being in a position to form government. A year down the track, how gratifying is that for you?
Oh, look, it's great progress. I mean, if you think about where we were and what commentators were writing about us a year ago and where we sit today, there's no doubt about it. We've made great progress. But we still have a lot more to do, and a lot of it is really continuing to do what we have been doing, which is getting out of Wellington and actually going out and listening to people in communities, in businesses, the sector leaders, and understanding actually how does a government help them do better and help New Zealand do better.
And what have they been telling you?
Well, it's very consistent. I mean, everyone feels the country's heading in the wrong direction. They really want a government to come in and turn things around and be able to get things done. And, that's my background and my experience is, getting things done through, with and for people. And it's so important because outcomes is actually how you get to improve daily Kiwis' lives. And that's really my motivation for coming to this job is from outside politics is to do that. I want New Zealand to realise all the incredible potential that it has. I want every Kiwi to be able to flourish. I want them all to be able to realise their version of the Kiwi dream. But we've got some big challenges to face up to, whether it's around the economy, whether it's around healthcare, education, housing, crime. We have to sort those problems out so that we can actually get good outcomes for people so they can get on and live the lives that they want to live. And so that's my motivation for being here.
Yeah, well, one of the things that you've been quite consistent on since you became leader last year is talking about aspiration and opportunity. Is New Zealand an opportunity society? And if not, what needs to happen to make it so?
Well, that's what I believe. I want it to be an opportunity society. I believe the National Party is actually different from the Labour Party because the Labour Party believes in an equality of outcome and we believe in an equality of opportunity, that irrespective of your circumstances, good or bad or otherwise, that you actually get to go to the start line and actually have your shot at the New Zealand dream, whatever that may be for you. That's really the work of the National Party, and that's why you've started to hear us talk a lot about education and actually how we fix that, because we know that's one of the great things that enables people to get to better circumstances. And it's also why you've heard us reframe social investment, as we call it, to make sure that we actually are dealing and helping people with targeted, powerful interventions so that they can actually realise the potential that they have. And so for me, that's been a big part of it, is we want to make this a place where you can make a contribution to your community, that you want to raise a family here, you want to be able to start a business here. And I just think over the last 5 years, under this government's been playing a very small, very wet, a very inward, a very negative game. And we have lost huge amounts of confidence and positivity and ambition and aspiration. And yet I travel this country every week. I have a great privilege of this job of meeting people in community organisations and wanting to start up businesses, and you just see incredible world-class talent, and you just want New Zealand to realise all the potential that it has, but at the moment we're not doing that.
What's been the most difficult part of your job this year?
Oh, I don't think, I mean, a lot of it is just still being relatively new. You know, if you think about it, I came into this job to Parliament just 2 years ago. A year ago, I took on the leadership of the National Party, and just learning your way around how Parliament works and how Wellington works is some aspects of that are new. But by and large, when I look back over the last year, I'm really pleased that we've got the big things sort of right. And I think the big brush strokes of making sure we build a team, making sure that I can get the best out of each of the individuals, the 33 MPs that we have, get them opposing the government but starting to propose ideas as well. And we'll have a lot more of that to unwind and reveal as we go through the course of next year. But I think we've made tremendous progress really. And so when I look back, good progress. Nothing in the big broad brush strokes that I think that I would do differently. Maybe some things on the margins, but pretty small in the scheme of things.
And what's the singular your best achievement for this year? Can be something big, can be something little that maybe. What's been the thing that you're like? Actually, I nailed that.
Oh, look, I think we've done a good job. I've done a good job of being able to pull this team together and get a different set of outcomes with the same people. And I'm really proud of our team. I think everyone took the challenge incredibly well when I came through as the new leader about what I expected and what I wanted to achieve with them. And I'm just proud of the teamwork that I've seen come together. I think that's really quite exciting, and it's quite invigorating when you get to work with people who've got ideas and their motivation is all very clearly on we need to win next year in order for us to be able to solve problems for New Zealanders and to be able to get this country to realise all the potential that it has. And
your single worst moment of the year, biggest mistake, dunce hat moment, what is it?
Oh, look, I mean, I don't, as I said, I look back in the round and I'd say there's nothing major that I feel like I got the big broad brush strokes pretty right. I don't mean that in an arrogant way, but when I look back, there's nothing that I would say I'd want to replay or do differently again in that regard. Obviously there are things on the margins we could have done better or communicated better. My famous holiday to Honolulu via Te Puke would be probably as close as it gets.
And earlier today there were a few questions about a conversation that you had in South Auckland, and you responded to some of the questions by saying, basically, we need to have an honest conversation about crime and about some of the problems in this country. That if people are offended by that, you're sorry, but actually it's important to have. Why do you say that?
Well, look, the reality is New Zealand is in a turnaround and it needs a turnaround. And when you're doing that, you have to be really upfront with people about the reality of the situation that we are in and what we face, as well as have hope, and not just hope in some kumbaya sense, but hope because you have a proper plan that you can get New Zealand to a different and a much better place. And so, what I was saying there was, look, I was asked a serious question by a journalist about what causes crime. I was reflecting on a conversation that I'd had with a community organisation about a particular specific situation of young people in poverty and why gang life looks so attractive to them. And all I was verbalising that. I think the danger is in that conversation is I want to be able to have a proper conversation about actually what are we going to do to get to deal and tackle with the causes of crime rather than people being offended. I didn't mean to offend anyone by that remark, but if that's the story, I think we're missing the real conversation that needs to take place, which is about the causes of crime, not whether someone felt offended by my remarks or not. And I wasn't genuinely wanting to offend. I was just genuinely reflecting a conversation I had in South Auckland with a community organisation about what do we think drives young people into gang membership.
Can we expect more of that frankness next year?
Yeah, absolutely, because I think it's really important as a leader, and I've had to do it within the National Party as we face a turnaround as well. But I think as we go to the country next year, and when we think about if we're lucky enough to be voted into government, we're going to have to be really straight up with the New Zealand people about why we need to make the changes we need to make in order to get better outcomes for them, so they get to live their life with more freedom and choice, and ultimately be able to realise all their potential. So, I guess I come away, going, we've got a big turnaround job ahead of us, but I know it's just work, and I know we can do it. And I see amazing and inspiring people up and down this country who have answers that often are outside of the system of public service and this place of Wellington. And so for me, we're all in it together, and we've got a great country. I think we've got the best country on planet Earth, as I keep saying, but we're just not realising that potential. In order for us to do that, and having done a lot of turnaround jobs, you've got to be pretty straight up about where things are and get to the real nub of an issue, rather than try and not talk about it.
Mm. And Christopher Luxon, over Christmas, what are your plans?
Really looking forward to getting to the beach, like probably a lot of Kiwis, getting into the shorts and t-shirt, and I'd love to get on a boat somewhere and go fishing with my wife in an afternoon. Would be fantastic. So we'll just muck around at the beach, and we'll have family and friends coming and going, and like many people. But I just say to all your viewers and listeners and readers, just I really hope that everyone gets a time to refresh and recharge. It's been another really busy and stressful year for many New Zealanders. I know it's been a challenging year for many Kiwis, and I really want them to be able to have a break and to be able to reconnect with their friends and their family and their loved ones and fill themselves up so that they're ready to come back and get into 2023. So wish everyone a very, very Merry Christmas and stay safe.
Thank you so much. One final thing. If there was a phrase that you think will sum up next year, what will it be?
It'll be actually, how do we help New Zealand realise its full potential, and that's, we have an incredible country, as I've said. We just need to be able to realise potential and be able to solve problems and get things done. If there's one phrase, it's probably that: get things done.
Christopher Luxon, Merry Christmas, have a good break, and thank you so much for joining us.
Appreciate it, Luke. Thanks for your time.